Hi there, a very good morning and good evening to all of you, depending on wherever you're watching me. This is Simply Stocks, and I'm live in this live session as promised around 9 p.m. India time. I would like to discuss with you about the markets and would like to discuss also about what is the power of being patient in this market. To be able to hold on to stocks and finally they perform, it gives a lot of pleasure. And so I'll talk about which sector or stocks I'm talking about. You would have guessed it from the explanation. And the second thing I would bring forward to you, a sector which could perform after about 6 8 months. So which you can invest over the next couple of months or in the winters, in November, December, or whenever the market falls around that time, and you will be rewarded hopefully by July of next year. So that sector I'm going to discuss and then answer your calls. All right. So let more people join in. It's a weekday and a night of a weekday. So let more people join in. Sheikh Abdullah, walaikum salam. Ashimori, good evening. Hi Vikas. Hi Shraven. Uh, and Abhinav, hi. Uh, Kushal, hi. So let more people join in, and then we'll discuss both the things in detail. Uh, I would hope that you are doing extremely well with the markets. Azma, walaikum salam. Gupta, very good evening to you. Uh, and hopefully, if you remember a few weeks back, probably 2 3 months back, I put up a video on reality sector and the real estate sector and which are the stocks that are going to do well. Hopefully, if people would have traded in those larger stocks and held on to the stock, they would have performed. So I'll discuss in detail on the same. So let's just for the next 2 3 minutes, let's discuss about the markets, and then we'll come to these 2 points. There's a reality sector as well as the sector that I wanted to discuss with you, which could perform going forward. So first of all, about the markets. So as expected, and most of the patron members would agree with it when I was discussing the markets with them with the podcast. I did say that the market is going to bottom out by Thursday, Friday. It did earlier. So what happened was 2 days of fall from 17,700 all the way to 17,300. Just a 3 400 point fall. You can't even take that as a fall. Just a smidgen drop from the mega rally we have seen from 2020 March. And the recovery, look at the recovery that has taken place in the market. So we discussed that on Patreon also, and what we discussed was that I had a feeling that 17,000 will be hard to break, and that was the case. And the recovery took place very quickly, even with that China real estate issue. There was hardly any, you can say, drawback in the market altogether. If you would have had an 8 to 10% fall, even then we would have considered that a fall. So it gave opportunity. I built up my positions onto my existing positions, just shared my portfolio today with the members, and probably most of the investors who wanted to invest long term, 4 5 6 years, would have done the same, and hopefully you would have done the same, that in this decline would have bought into very good quality stocks. Thing is, this market is hardly giving any opportunity to anyone. This market is not obliging for a major decline. It's not obliging for a decline of 10 to 15%. So what you need to do is have a 2 to 3 year time frame. Look into your sectors in which you have a very good hold on analyzing stocks. Buy those stocks and sit on them for 2 3 years. That will make you money, at least 2 to 3 years. That will make you big money. So if we go back to 2020, if somebody would have held on to, say, an IRCTC, kept on buying at 900,000, 1100 at those levels, at the moment it is trading around 4,000, 3,700 or so. Similarly, Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Twins, you have Asian Paints. at that point of time in total shambles at 1400, now at 3300. Even Reliance in 2020 was around 800, I think, in Feb March. So I'm talking of large stocks that have performed very well, not even talking of the smaller stocks or the mid cap stocks that have done appreciably well. What you need to do is show patience. And what I have gathered from some of my members on Patreon, that they don't have the patience to hold on. They would like to book 15, 20, 25% profit. This market is rewarding those who are buying very good quality stocks and holding them through thick and thins, and over a period of time. So this market rewards those, and over a period of time, if on declines you buy them, then your money wise return gets even appreciated. Percentage wise your return might be less because your average goes up, but money wise you're going to make a lot of money. I feel this decade could be huge, if not the decade, at least for the next 6 years, at least for the next 6 to 7 years. This market is going to reward a lot of investors going forward. So those who have not built portfolios can do that. Those who have very good stocks in their portfolios can just build onto them rather than buying a number of stocks. That's all that I can say. And over a 6 7 year period, you are going to make a lot of money. 2028 could be a time when, around that time, 27 28, we could see another fall of the magnitude of what we saw uh, in 2020. It normally happens in around 7 8 years time, that a major decline takes place. And if you really want to know in detail about that, you can watch a video that I put up on major declines in the Sensex and Nifty. I put up some months back. In that, I have you can say, analyze different falls in detail. So probably for the next 6 7 years, we could be headed much higher from where we are. As I mentioned, 20,000. I mentioned in some, you can say, about few live sessions back, that 20,000 is something we are looking at in the next 6 8 months. uh, Hopefully by March April we are looking at it. Maybe it will come very quickly, the way the market is going. But based on 850 rupees EPS, and not many people will tell you about it, but analysts expect FY23 EPS to be 850 rupees for Nifty. Uh, at 17,000, it was trading at 20 times. Not expensive at all, but not very cheap, but not expensive at all. So I have a feeling that 22,000 to 23,000 is very much possible in the next 1 year. By next Diwali, we could see around 22 to 23,000. We could see declines, but I think we are headed at least 30%. There could be a 30% up move in the market in the next 1 year or 15 months or so. All right, coming to my points now. 2 points I want to make here, and those who want to ask me queries can use the super chat and super sticker feature, and I will answer them on a priority basis, even if I'm discussing something. So my second point here is talking about the sector that did extremely well today. And the sector that really did well today was the reality sector. I have talked about the reality sector in earnest in some of my videos, that five of the best reality stocks. I've talked about it. You can watch that video. I've talked about Godrej Properties, Oberoi Reality, Soba Developers, etc. And even you can say latest listing have done well. So Macrotech Developers, which is Lodha, has done extremely well. And this is, in my opinion, is just the beginning. So you look at Godrej Properties now, up 13% today, was up nearly 18 19%. You had an NBCC which is up again. I've talked about NBCC a lot, for a target of 60 70. I think it is headed there. A DLF which is at 401 now. An amazing performance, and I think this is just the precursor in the real estate, you can say, segment. Just the beginning of a huge up move that would take place going forward. Thanks a lot, Lawrence, for your contribution. Thank you. See, my opinion on all metal stocks is that if you are in not a huge loss, if you are making money, avoid, exit, and if you have not bought, don't buy. get into consumer oriented, get into real estate, get into a sector which I'll talk about later on in this live session. Probably that will make you money more rather than being in metals. Thank you, Santosh, for your contribution. 5 year view on ADF Foods, Sika Integrand, and Infobeam technology. I see Infobeams is fine for a couple of years, 1 2 years, but I think the best in the pack is ADF Foods. I think over 5 years, it's going to go up. I would say at least 150%, at least 140, 150%. About the other two, I'm not that confident. So I would say that ADF Foods is something you can continue with if you have bought, and if you have not, you can probably you can probably add on these levels and on declines as well. All right. So the sector. So as I was talking about the real estate sector, and remember, I have always talked about this fact that you buy the best businesses, even if they look expensive. So if I remember correctly, and if my memory serves me right, I talked about Godrej Properties at 800, 850. I've talked about Godrej Properties at 1300, and it remained around 13, 1400 for a long period of time. I believe that those who have bought it at 13, 1400 have bought it at very good levels. This can still double from here in the next 1 year. We could see doubling of the stock in the next 3 4 months also, but in the next 1 year for sure, it looks like that these kind of companies could continue to perform. And look at only larger, very good quality, less debt company. NBCC is a debt free company. So that's why I've talked about it a lot of time. Thanks a lot, Atish, for your contribution. If you have any query, you can shoot that to me. Thank you for all the support. So what I meant was Godrej Properties, Shobha Developers, Macrotech, or Lodha that we are talking about, or you can say all these types of companies. They are going Prestige Estate, etc. They are going to give you a lot of returns, and I'm also very bullish on NBCC even from these levels. It looks like that 60 is something that is coming up, and if it crosses 60, 62, we are headed towards 75 or so. So all sorts of companies, you look at a DLF, any declines to 360, 350, if that happens, is a very good levels, are very good levels to buy. Do not get into lower quality, smaller companies. Buy into these larger companies at current levels on declines, and hopefully in the next year or two, you'll make money. So again, I don't want you to rush in and buy even these levels, but whoever has bought at say 40, 50% lower, somebody who have bought at 1300, 1400, something like a Godrej Properties, somebody who have bought a DLF at 280, 290, he needs to just hold on, do nothing about it. Because if you really want to make money, you cannot be scared about the stock falling again. You have to take the big call of holding on to the company for 2 years, 1 2 years, and let's see what happens. Because I see a seminal change happening in the real estate industry, and my biggest real estate play, and many would have guessed it, is Asian Paints. I would still say not a real estate company, but Asian Paints will be my biggest real estate play. It is at 3300. It continues to grow and grow very fast. It has gone up 35, 40% in the last 5 6 months. uh, and the performance may just continue. So look at large, good quality companies. What is happening in this bull market is, and tell me if I'm wrong, that better quality companies are performing very, very well. You look at something like a DMart. Look at the way the DMart has performed. I've talked about DMart from 650 levels on the day of the listing. We have traded into DMart, we have got out of DMart, etc. But DMart remains a big player even now at 2.8 lakh or 2.7 lakh crore market cap, at 4400, because the numbers will be big year on year once things open up. And it looks like that somehow, and really I'm really happy about it, that we are going to dodge the third wave, and so we will move ahead with better, you can say, consumer spirit, and more my favorite consumer stocks will continue to do well. So I'm just giving you examples. I'm not saying that you buy a DMart at 4400. I'm not saying you buy a Godrej Properties at 2200. I'm just saying that the patience that you need to show will only reward you. So if you would have bought a Godrej Properties at 13 1400, now is the time that you get rewarded. Somebody who have bought it even for a year's time frame can book profits here, can book profits at 2800, 3000 if it goes there. Big profits like 100%. Somebody who would have bought something like IRCTC at 1350, 1400 can book profits anytime right now, and it is going ahead. I think it is going towards 5000 over the next 1 year or so. What happens with power of compounding is that once you make that 70, 80, 100% in one stock, once your stock doubles, after that, even if it goes up 20, 25%, your overall return becomes very big. For instance, just to give you an example, say you buy a stock at 500 rupees and it goes up to 1000 rupees, and then it grows at 20%. So that 1000 will become 1200. So from a point of view of 500, that stock is ahead by 40%. Okay, so if that stock goes up by 200 rupees, that stock is up 40% according to, or if you calculate it through your buy price level. So that is why power of compounding really helps. And as the stock becomes more dearer, as the stock keeps becoming richer, any 2 3 percentage point is much bigger. So on a 1200 rupees stock, a 4 percentage point move is 50 rupees, whereas on a 500 rupees stock, a 4 percentage move is 20 rupees. So that's what I meant by holding on to your gems and buying something which are in a sector where it is not talked about. 6 8 months back, real estate was not the big thing at that point of time. All right, Sachin, thanks for your contribution. GMM Fodler, market leader, did little for 6 months. Actually, Glasgow performance. I entered GMM Fodler, it was market leader. GMM Fodler is a very good company. Pharma is going through a consolidation phase. Pharma has had problems just recently. GMM Fodler's major business comes from pharma and chemicals. Chemicals have gone up appreciably. What you need to do is, if you have a 2 3 year view, hold on to it. If you have lesser time frame view, on any up move, exit. Why I would like to say that is that right now what is happening is that debt laden companies which have not performed for the last 2 years may just perform for the next 3 4 months. Companies which are into real estate infrastructure may continue to perform, and then there will be a time when all these pharma ancillary companies will again perform. So you have to be patient again with it. Keep on accumulating, and if you have a 3 year view, this is a doubler in 3 years, in my opinion. All right, thank you for your contribution. So as I was talking about, so what you need to do is buy something which is not in the news, which is not performing, but have are very good quality companies, and you feel like that because of the economic change, because of whatever is happening, things will get much better. Say 3 4 months down the line, and you buy now. Coming to that point, what I want to say is that one sector that has not done well for 2 years, and because of the pandemic that comes in the summers, is the consumer electronics, or you can say the consumer AC segment, cooler segment, etc., which is all related to summers. I believe this time around, from March onwards, February, March onwards, you will see a big move. What you need to do is start accumulating from now. So which are the stocks to accumulate? Don't get into smaller companies which are giving to you can say all these kind of AC companies, etc. Get into either ancillaries which are a contract manufacturer, which are large, so something. So Dixon is not quite in the same phase, but the other company that is in the same industry should do well, should do extremely well. Plus, you can buy into a Blue Star, you can buy into something like a Symphony even at these levels. Although I'll prefer Hitachi and Blue Star more, and even more Blue Star and Voltas, and then Hitachi. So if you ask me in a you can say Ranking level, Blue Star because of the valuations, Voltas because of the pedigree, and then Hitachi at number three. These are the companies that you can probably really look to get into, and just hold on to them, and you will make decent amount of money by July next year. So this is September. It's a good 9 months, 8 9 months play, and you can make 30%, 40%. I don't know, it could go up even more than that, but 30 to 40% upside is very much possible here. A lot of pent up demand is left. A lot of things happened in both the summers, you know about it. The first wave happened, and there was a complete shutdown in April and May of 2020. The second wave happened, and it was a lot of trouble around, you can say, April and May of 2021. That was the peak of the summer. So get into these companies, but get into the best pedigree companies. Again, I mentioned the names, best of the companies, and then you're going to make the money. Could be a similar kind of move awaiting us next summer or just before the summer, probably February or March. The similar move that we have seen in real estate today. Saurabh, thanks for your contribution. If you have any queries, you can shoot that to me directly. So, what I mean to say is that this sector, this subsector, is not in the picture at the moment. May not be in the picture in December, January. So there could be another fall in November, December. This is not something that is going to go up immediately, but you need to buy and hold and have patience in these companies. In the next 1 year, you're going to make decent amount of money. Plus larger consumer companies will come back into focus. I'm pretty confident from October, November, something like an HUL, Britannia, Dabur, uh, even Tata Consumer, which has been consolidating. These will perform and will perform very decently. This is not a market to really get into any small cap, any mid cap, and that's why I'm talking of specific companies in the larger arena, because not all small companies are performing if you look at it on a holistic basis, and not all small companies are not performing. Those companies which have targeted, you can say, which are looking to make a lot of money, which are looking to make a lot of money when things open up, etc. Consumer oriented companies, smaller companies are performing. So these are some of the stocks in that AC slash cooler slash summer season segment which have not performed for 2 years. I'm pretty confident that this year would be big for them. All right. So I'm ready to answer your queries. Kindly use the super chat and super sticker feature that will help me grow the channel. That help you also ask me questions and eke out answers in greater detail. All right. Accrasel is good. I think Accrasel over a 1 year period should be headed towards 1,000. I think it is headed towards the four digits. So hold on till next Diwali. You will see 1,000 plus on the stock, hopefully. Okay. What else? Kilpest, I'll have a detailed discussion on Kilpest on Sunday. I did discuss this with Patreon members immediately when this AGM happened and all the notes came out and the presentation, etc. Very confident of Kilpest doing extremely well by FY24, FY25. In the short run, it could fall, it could go to 450, 430, but over 4 to 5 years, over the next 4 years, I see 2,000 on Kilpest, 2,000 plus on Kilpest. I'm still confident. Uh, Avoid KRBL. Loris Lab, interesting levels, very interesting levels. It's a buy at these levels, 610, 620 were very good levels to buy. I still believe 20-25% upside every year possible on a yearly basis on something like Loris. Yes, so Amber was the other company. It just went out of my mind. So not Dixon, but Amber is something that could be looked at from a summer season point of view. At current levels and on declines below 3,000, it could be very good levels to buy into Amber. So that's a very good, you can say, contract manufacturers for AC. Avoid Vodafone Idea. That's my call. Thanks a lot, Sachin, for your contribution. Balkrishna, I think you're talking about, and Rajasthan Wires fresh entry level for 3 years. All right, let me look at. I think you're talking of Balkrishna, or is it BKT, a different company? Let me have a look. Then I'll let you know. All right. Balkrishna Industries, as far as I know, it is around 2600. Uh, I would say if it crosses 3000, only then you buy, or closer to 2500 or so would be better levels to get into. So that's my call here. Around 2500 or crosses 3000, that is the time to probably get into it. Yeah. Okay. As far as Rajratan wires is concerned, I would say avoid at the moment. Do not get into it. I think there are better smaller companies that you should be looking at. Okay, but Balji has been so target in Reliance and BSC after 1 year from current levels. Reliance is headed towards 3000. I think there is a clear 2800, let's say a target of 2800, 2900. Let me have a look at BSC and I will let you know. So I'm just opening up charts for BSC and let's see, I mean, how is BSC doing? So it's around 1180, 1200. See, you look at it this way that it will make new highs. I think this is headed towards 1450, 1500. Probably that's where you can book profits in something like a BSC. All right. All right. Amber has been range bound for quite a while now. Hopefully, yes, I see. Wait 8 months, 8 months. I think there's a big move possible. 4200, very much possible in Amber. Uh, just that you need to have patience. It may not perform for a couple of months more, but it should pick up pace after that. Sure. Thank you. All right, and thanks for your contribution. Kindly do support me on Patreon. The Patreon membership for $10, and you'll get a lot out of it. And hopefully, you have taken a trade on a Birlasoft at lower levels. Just to tell all of you, being here online, I think this is another stock that could perform extremely well over a 2 3 year period. I've talked about it many times. So this is something that can be bought at below 400 levels or so. Avoid banking financials. That's my opinion. Except for one or two financials, it's really no point looking at it. I don't think textile would really perk up, Mr. Hindustani. I think textile will struggle. Textile has had a move already, and there are a lot of issue with these textile companies, and that's why I don't make a lot of videos on textile stocks. If you ask me, I would say get into other sectors that would be better for you. Textile is a sector that you should be getting in with a 8 10 year view and just holding on to very good quality company. Harveer, thanks for your contribution. Thanks for being a support on Patreon as well. And you have been a very early member on Patreon, so that I remember. Thank you for your contribution. All right. Newgen is a very good company. Even at current levels, you can get into. On declines to 570, 560 would be even better levels to buy. Manoj, I'll talk about Kilpest in my Sunday session for sure. I'm going to discuss about Kilpest. I have discussed that in earnest with the patron members. I'll discuss with all of you on Sunday in the live session for sure. Tips as an avoid. I do not track it, but I would prefer buying into consumer centric companies rather than something like a tips. A Gillette is a buy from a long term point of view on the basis of, you can say, as a portfolio stock, not as something that can be traded. Clean science is expensive, so that's my call on clean science. I believe it is expensive, although it is going up. Probably an avoid, in my opinion. Mindtree may still continue to perform. It has not done well. Now you need to understand the businesses in Mindtree. What is happening? Mindtree's most business comes from real estate, and that's why it is doing well, because real estate seems like doing well. So that is the point. Okay. Okay, so somebody asked about Bajaj Finserv. It's a very good company. If you have it, hold on to it continuously. You will continue to compound your money in it. And these are the two companies: Finserv, Fine, Bajaj Finance, probably an HDFC, say life insurance, etc. Companies that are pretty good from a long term point of view. Although I don't invest into these financials, I completely avoid. Happiest minds may head towards 1380, 1350. There could be a slight decline. Those will be very good levels to buy into happiest minds. A disclaimer, I have the stock. 1350 to 1380 would be very good levels to add on to it. There could be some pressure for 3-4 months in the stock. It has already done appreciably well. There could be some pressure. I think it has made a high for this year, and probably from Jan Feb onwards, it will start moving big time again. I don't know about Zenith Healthcare, so cannot comment on it. All right, guys. Thank you. Thanks for being online, and thanks for being in this live session. We'll have a discussion on Sunday afternoon in another live session. Thank you, and kindly do subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you get my videos straight away when I post it, and also support me on Patreon. Thank you.